everyone, it's Kishi here and I have designed a Viego plushie. Ta-da! I honestly have never thought about having an opportunity to design such a cursed little object, but a few months ago, my craft zone sent me a message about a collab which I could not refuse. So here he is in all his furious glory. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I designed him and I try to tell some of his lore as I draw. As you might not know, I'm a big League of Legends fan. I love every aspect of this accursed game, but mostly its art and stories. And Viego's story and character has to be one of my favorites. I think he's one of the best written characters in League lore. I consider him one of the main characters in the champion roster, so many connections to a bunch of other characters, and he has such a quantity of stories centered around him. Plus, he's a tragic villain, so I'm biased. In the meantime, you can see me design the doll. You have to provide the manufacturer a front, back, and side view. What I knew in the first place is that I wanted him to have real hair, like a Barbie doll, and a removable jacket. Sadly, the hair could not make it, but I still love the outcome. Here I'm drawing his sword too, but in the end I had to ditch it due to production costs. So, Viego is a 22-year-old king of an ancient empire named Kamavor, 1,000 years ago, who somehow met and fell in love with a seamstress named Isolde. They ended up marrying despite their country's customs and bloody heritage. It's hinted in the novel that Isolde's nation was conquered by Kamavor, with her parents being dead. So one can deduct that it was most probably his father's army that killed them. I find it really compelling that these two tried to mend this generational trauma through wedlock. He, by the way, only got to be a king because his brother died in battle, and so he unfortunately was the next in line. That's how he obtained his sword, Sanctity, through a brutal ritual, which would kill the one unworthy of the Argent throne. Needless to say, he survived, he was worthy, and so he was soul bound to the blade. This sword can be conjured by him from thin air, and it can make flesh dissipate into smoke. It makes people into beef jerky. Kamavor is like the worst aspects of Demacia and Noxus combined. I love it. It is both extremely classist and imperialist. And so someone, probably Hecarim, decides to end Viego's otherwise kind of okay reign and assassinate him. The dagger used, however, wounds and kills Isolde instead, and Viego goes insane from grief. And he embraces his dark, narcissistic side. And so all goes down from here on. After all, he's kind of a dumb-fuck college-age guy with a desperate need for therapy. He practically grew up as an orphan, but in a very, very privileged way, with only his niece Callista by his side, who's more like an elder sister to him. Like if he had a nightmare as a child, he could only run to Callista for comfort. It's pretty heart-wrenching. It is kind of safe to say that this profound loneliness with the privilege combo caused him to have borderline personality disorder. It was described in a novel that he would often have fits of rage, which, by the way, also was paired with a powerful magical ability. Being a soul mage in his lineage, he had a force-like telekinetic power. He was able to toss and crush people and objects with his magic and could even conjure a force field. He's a magical princess with a disorder. I think he lost his magic when he became an undead though. It is bound to his blood, so no blood means no magic. The Sentinels got real lucky here. So I said he was kind of okay as a king first, even if he had no idea how to rule, because he was listening to Queen Isolde, remember the seamstress. The novel mentions them sharing dreams about making Kamavor a better, more just place, and that he opened the army kitchens to the poor. He gets a little gold star for that, even if he did it so to woo her, and later he betrayed those ideals and became the worst ever. So he probably has BPD and became a grandiose narcissist. He didn't care for anyone or anything besides saving the dying Isolde, not even honoring her wish to rest in peace, and he kept her body to himself for months, keeping it intact by a magical artifact named Michael's Chalice, obtained just before the assassination attempt. Ugh. And so, in a series of unfortunate events, he and some others, like Thresh, caused a fantasy version of a Chernobyl catastrophe called the Ruination. How this happened is that in order to save Isolde, he and his niece Callista found and sailed to the mystical hidden islands named the Blessed Isles, which were famed for their healing waters. Turns out that the isles were hidden because these waters were quite cursed and originate from the word rune of hope with all sorts of side effects. One of them being upon revival, the person lived in turns into a wraith. So this is what practically happened. The revived Isolde, driven by righteous anger though, stabbed Viego in the heart with his own blade. So the guy was standing knee-deep in these healing waters, dying from the blade and getting healed over and over again until the whole place exploded into the black mist, turning everyone near into wraiths. And so the Blessed Isles became the Shadow Isles. Both him and Callista turned into wraiths, and Isolde's soul got torn to pieces. What a cool story. So Viego has many crimes. While he did not abuse Isolde per se, he massively disrespected her autonomy, he abused and betrayed Callista, abused his physician, threw him out of a moving pavilion, wrecked his own empire alongside with its dragons, and of course, he has committed genocide in the Isles. And then, after he turned into the Ruined King, he messed with a bunch of other champions like Senna, Lucian, Gwen, Illaoi, etc., as he searched for Isolde's fetters and brought ruin to all, only to watch Isolde die again and getting imprisoned again. What a guy. A side note here, Gwen's killing has to be one of his most heinous crimes. You see, Gwen was Isolde's beloved doll. She was made by Isolde's mother and would keep her company when she was sick. She was even at her deathbed. After the ruination, she became alive, receiving an Isolde soul piece, and became her own character, which is really weird. No other fetter behaved this way. It is entirely possible that Gwen got a separate soul from Isolde. What I'm trying to say is that Gwen might have gotten Isolde's unborn child's soul. That, of course, Viego being her father. There are multiple hints that they are related too. She has a childlike, self-centered personality.
I did that! Me!
They share a love for fashion. Even their in-game kits resemble each other. Q a poke slash, W is a mishroud, and E is a dash. She even carries her scissors like he does the blade. So this means he might have killed his own daughter. It's okay. She came back. I really hope in the future both of them would realize this, because I love Mess. Even though he's the worst, I still can't help but love him. I just think he's neat. There was a time where he was a decent person, and I strongly believe he's capable of having a road to Damascus moment where he's realizing what a dumb fuck he was. I believe in the power of the hallowed mist therapy. It is sad that it calms people and makes them remember their lost memories. He could finally remember and respect what Isolde wanted for them and act like it. I want a redemption arc, okay? He could be the more edgy version of Prince Zuko from Avatar. I'd like to mention here that his voice acting is also so good, and it's really funny that he's the only one Camovaran champion who has a strong Spanish accent.
She was the star that lit my path. Without her, darkness.
So that's about him for now. I want to talk about the Ruination storyline in another much longer video. I know, but it's still my favorite. There are so many intricacies. Thank you for listening to me rambling about my favorite fictional man-child. This project has brought so much joy for me. And remember, if you like it, you can pre-order this plushie. Link in the description. Bye!